Hello, welcome to the Safe Space Podcast, the place where we're using our spark to unite our allies. We are your hosts. My name is Marcella.
And I'm Brittany.
First of all, I think we want to start off the episode just by saying thank you for everybody's patience. I think our last episode we put out on like February 11th or something, so it's been kind of a while.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that would be my fault. I broke my wrist and then I got the flu, so apologies.
A little bit of both our faults. We've been dealing with stuff.
Yeah, February, for whatever reason, is a rough month.
It's the shortest month, but it wants to pack it all in.
Oh, I know. Last year was Mom's cancer diagnosis and my car crash, and this year I break my wrist and get the flu. And anyways, just thank you for everybody's patience. This episode is going to be a part 2 on like women's healthcare and abortion rights, which I think was episode 3. So when doing a quick Google search of women's healthcare rights, the AI overview states women's healthcare rights include access to abortion care, reproductive health care, and non-discrimination in healthcare. And I found it just really interesting that even the AI knows that these are considered important parts of healthcare, and yet there are so many people out there who don't believe women should have access to these things.
That's insane considering AI is programmed by people.
Yeah, it's programmed to like have the popular thought, I think, so to speak, which I don't know, was just like fascinating to me that you always hear so many things about people wanting to take away those things and then wanting to, make access to them harder than it already is, and then AI is out here like saying that it's part of our healthcare.
Right, saying the opposite of what most people are saying these days.
Mm-hmm.
In episode 3, we discussed how Roe v. Wade came to be and the harm that revoking has caused. In this episode, we're going to cover more on abortion rights as well as other important parts of women's healthcare.
And I didn't really talk about it too much in this script, but I just wanted to reiterate that the amount of like death related to unsafe abortions drastically went down when Roe v. Wade was instated back in the 70s, I think it was. It literally went from like, oh gosh, I can't even remember what the statistics said, but it went down to like single digits pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't remember the high number, but it went way down to single digits.
Oh yeah, way down to single digits. So like that just proves right there that how helpful, how important that was. Like, and then it was taken away so quickly, I feel.
Right, and then almost immediately women started dying because doctors were afraid to help them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's complications, like moms are dying, the babies are dying, the fetuses are dying, like...
Mm-hmm.
Like we said in that episode, it's not... People aren't getting abortions because it's like a fun thing to do. A lot of the time they're getting abortions because it's medically necessary.
Yeah, they have to, or they will die too in the end, sepsis or whatever it may be, because they didn't get the fetal tissue out or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even in the case of like if they don't have a medical necessity for it too, they should still have access to it.
Right. I mean, if you don't want a kid, like for me, example, I do not want a kid. I should be allowed to terminate that pregnancy if I don't want it. I don't feel like I'm up to the challenge of taking care of a child.
Right. And we talk in this episode a little bit about contraceptives and birth control and things like that. And you have the an IUD, right?
Yeah.
And those are what is it, like 99% effective or something like that?
Yeah, 99 point something effective, and the one I got is good for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, there's so many options for contraception, for birth control, and things like that, and it's all like 99% effective. But then there is that small chance that, like, while you're on these things, you can still get pregnant, but it's not. I think it is like not usually a viable pregnancy, which could end up being extremely dangerous.
Yeah, and typically from the gynecologist I saw said, like, she was seeing if I was sexually active and stuff and make
Mm-hmm.
sure, like, you're using condoms for protection and stuff before getting the IUD, because if there's still anything in there and they put the IUD in, then you can have one of the, I think it's a ectopic pregnancy where it's
Mm-hmm.
outside the uterus.
Yeah,
And that's not good, but it's not very likely.
right. So I feel like that just, I don't even have the words to express this, but like, we need these things, right? We need to have access to these things because they're important. Whether you want a
Yes.
kid or not, they're important things to have access to for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like, some things aren't 100% effective. Even if you don't want a kid, like, you could still end up pregnant, and it might not be, a viable pregnancy, which is going to be really dangerous for the mother to go through.
Right.
And then if you don't have access to an abortion because that's federally illegal,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's putting your own life is at risk now.
Also, like, we need these things because a good chunk of men won't get their, like, what do you call it?
Vasectomy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that is undoable versus a woman getting fixed. You can't undo that.
Yeah. No, vasectomies prevent abortions. Just go get a vasectomy.
Right. Be an adult, take care of it, and, beyond your 5 minutes of time that you're involved in it.
A little bit of an angry tangent.
A little bit.
During Biden's presidency, he put orders into place that were specifically meant to protect women's rights to access of safe abortions and contraception. Within Trump's first week, he repealed those orders, making access to them harder and dangerous.
Healthcare is always important for everyone to learn about, regardless of your gender. However, with Trump's executive orders, he's making it so that it will be harder for people to get access to that information. So not only is the order taking away access to abortions and contraceptives, but the information on how to get these is also going to be harder to access.
I know we talk about it a little bit later, like, websites have already been taken down. Reproductiverights.org was taken down. That's not a thing anymore, which was part of one of Biden's executive orders. And it was to give people information on women's health and women's reproductive rights.
Yeah. That also makes sense since Trump is undoing everything Biden did.
I know, like, immediately, too. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, right away, that was, like, the first few things that he did was stopping things that Biden put into place for protection of people. Like, I just don't get it.
We're only in the beginning of March.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. And then I forgot to include it in the script, but I remember you were talking to me about what is that site? The National Institutes of Health. A large portion of that was also taken down, which is incredibly insane
Mm-hmm.
because that site was all about, like, research into women's health and into women's reproductive rights.
Yeah, and I even looked, it's gone down quite a bit. Like, from the
Yeah.
information, there used to be, I think it was 6 like little squares at the top you could click on for different
Mhm.
information, and now there's only 4. So
Yeah.
that's like already gone down quite a bit.
Yeah. And that has been around, what, for like over 30 years or something, just working on like research and providing information to people.
Yeah, established in 1990, the Office of Research on Women's Health serves as the focal point for health research at the National Institutes of Health. For over 30 years, RWH has worked across the NIH and beyond to advance our understanding of biological and social factors influencing women's health and disease, support individuals in biomedical careers, and stimulate research to improve overall health.
And why, so like why would you want to take that down? That's, it doesn't sound like anything negative. Like they're just supporting people and researching health and providing information.
Yeah, it's even got autoimmune diseases on there. Like, it's
Yeah.
literally just about our body and chemistry and biology, like it said. Like,
Yeah. But no, I guess we can't learn anything about the women's body anymore.
I mean, we already don't know enough. Now we're gonna know even less.
Yeah, I know. The amount of stories I've heard of people who didn't know, adult people who didn't know how babies were made, like, that's going to get so much worse.
I know.
Because this reproductive rights stuff isn't just about us, it isn't just about women, it's about teaching people, everybody, how things work.
Yeah, responsibility of your own body and being with someone's, like, because if your health is bad, it can affect theirs.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's just crazy to me that they want to take all this stuff down because that's so incredibly negatively going to affect so many people.
Oh, yeah, and like, STDs and stuff will go on the rise again because you won't
Oh,
have
for sure.
access to that information.
For sure. I was reading an article, a doctor, I can't remember her name, she was saying that like the rates of HIV and AIDS are definitely going to go up.
I believe it.
Which
100%.
it's like sad and scary to hear that, but that's true.
Mm-hmm.
She's not wrong.
Not at all.
So the order is also halting agency efforts on enforcing anti discrimination laws. And this means that people are now at a higher risk for being denied emergency care as well as prescription medications. And Trump has named his executive order enforcing the Hyde Amendment. And I kind of did a little bit of research into what the Hyde Amendment was. And it's been one of the most, like one of the biggest restrictions that has been put on women's health care in the last 50 years. Since 1977, the amendment has been blocking federal funds from being used to assist people in affording abortion care.
Wow.
Yeah, so like right after Roe v. Wade was instated, this Hyde Amendment came about blocking federal funds.
I think I knew a little bit about that, but not that the federal funds were actually being blocked. That's horrible.
Yeah, well, we go into it a little bit more, and it gets like crazy. It's ridiculous.
How can you want to take any of this away from yourself and others?
I know. I just, oh my god, the amount of women who voted for this is insane.
I know. It's like, okay, and for some that I know and I'm not friends with anymore, but it's like, okay, you can't have a baby, so,
Yeah,
like, it's good for you, but what about everyone else?
yeah. Oh my god. It's like the older white ladies that just don't give a shit about like, what happens to anybody else, which is like, okay, great, you can't have babies anymore, you're too old. What about the younger kids? What about the younger generation that wants to have babies? Like, or the ones that don't want to have babies that are gonna accidentally get pregnant because they don't have access to contraception or birth control or information about those or abortions. Like, you don't know how people are in their minds. Just because that baby wasn't aborted doesn't mean that that mother is not going to be so overwhelmed and so stressed and so scared that she kills the baby or that she kills herself. I mean, that's a harsh thing to say, but it does happen
Like,
so much.
yeah, I was gonna say it can happen for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I would do, but I know I'm not in any way prepared for a child, so I'm going to do my best to prevent that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. That there should be nothing wrong with that. I if people want less abortions, give us access to birth control and contraceptives.
Exactly. And I ain't nobody's broodmare, so no.
I don't think I've ever heard that term before. Also, I love that it sounds like I'm barely laughing at all because my voice is still gone.
Oh, I can hear it. It's just a little more nasally.
This fucking flu, dude.
We learned in episode 3 that overturning Roe v. Wade has made it significantly harder for people to access safe abortion care. However, the Hyde Amendment has also been limiting people from access due to it banning federal funds from being used to assist in affording care. This means that people who are on Medicaid, military service members, veterans, and federal employees could be denied assistance and coverage.
That's so ridiculous. Why? Just why?
I don't know, but I'm really glad I got the IUD now before I can't anymore.
Dude, yeah, like I want to have kids eventually, but I'm glad that I have been on birth control and have been able to have continuous access to birth control before now.
Right.
But like I feel like even now that that's probably going to be threatened.
Probably. I would stock up.
Stock up.
Yep.
Get a couple years worth of supply.
Hey, if I didn't get the IUD, that was my plan.
That's not a terrible idea, to be fair.
I mean, just to be careful. Like you said, eventually you'll probably want kids, but until then.
Yeah, yeah. And it's scary. Being that, like, I'm at an age, like, childbearing age, as the doctors would say, which is such a weird term to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's terrifying because I don't want to have kids right now. Obviously I'm not ready for that. I'm not financially stable enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to have kids down the road. And like, it's just scary to think about like how that's going to happen because like you were saying, I don't want a kid at the moment. I don't know what I would do if I were to be in that situation of like, shit, I don't have access to birth control anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pregnant. Like, I don't know what I would do. I don't think I would get an abortion necessarily, but like at the same time, I don't know. I might.
Right. You
But
don't know until we're in that situation.
and it's scary to think about like that we actually have to face those kinds of things now because our healthcare system is being threatened.
Mm-hmm. It also kind of relates to like what you were saying. Maybe you're not financially stable right now. It's supposed to be about the kids, right? But you're going to force moms to be moms, even though they don't have the finances or the resources. Maybe they don't have family to help them. Like,
right.
And you don't want people using federal resources to help them either.
Right. That's just what I was going to bring up too.
So, what's the end game?
I know. If this were really about like pro-life, there would be no stigma against using like the federal aids. There would be no issue with like birth control, contraception, abortion. Like there would be no issue with any of that, and they're not they're not pro life, they're pro baby being born. Like,
Exactly, and then not giving a fuck after they're born. Like,
yeah, because they want to take away everything that's going to help keep that baby alive, to help keep that child survive.
you want to force someone to have a baby, but then, like I said, maybe you don't have the means to take care of that baby, but you also don't want to give them that federal aid to help
Yeah,
them. Like,
if this truly were about pro life, there would be so many more things to actually help mothers and children,
mm-hmm,
or children and parents, guardians, whoever's taking care of the child. There would be
exactly.
more options for them, not just banning abortion.
Right. You'd have better, like, health care for moms and babies
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah. Maybe you'd actually be able to buy hot fucking food with food stamps and WIC.
Right. I remember growing up, we were never even in the middle class. I've been homeless before. When I was younger, parents would make sure we ate and they wouldn't eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do we want a world full of that?
Yeah, yeah. That's not helpful or healthy for anybody. And I just don't understand how all these people can say they're so pro life and then not give a shit after the kid's born. Like, that's not pro life.
Yeah, no. It's not only ignorance, but privilege.
Yeah, for sure privilege. For sure. In his attempt to block information on reproductive rights, healthcare, and access, um, reproductiverights.gov was taken down, which we kind of discussed this a little bit a second ago. Like I said earlier, that was a website that Biden had put up during his presidency, and it was just to provide information on women's reproductive health and women's reproductive rights. And within like a week of Trump taking office, that was taken down. Just fucking stupid. Another one of Trump's orders that wasn't even initially about reproductive health care ended up being harmful to not only transgender people, but healthcare as well. And this order includes personhood language, which is defining life as beginning at conception into federal law. Yes,
Bullshit.
that causes a lot of issues. This kind of language can be very harmful because it can criminalize abortion, ban stem cell research, which stem cell research can be used for so many other things than just reproductive health.
Yeah, it's very necessary in my opinion.
Yes. And assistive reproductive technologies like IVF,
Mm-hmm.
and even common forms of birth control.
We have a common friend that I'll tell you in text about that is
Mhm.
thinking about IVF, and I'm so excited for them.
Oh, oh, I love that. Well, hopefully it all goes well.
I hope so.
I love that. Yeah, no, I can't, I feel like people just don't even realize how much is like really being taken away when he's talking about banning these things, because it's not just abortion, birth control, contraception. It's so many other things that like don't get talked about, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're trying to hide that. They're trying to hide the full length of what's actually being taken away and just going after the like trigger things, you know?
Almost likely they're hiding the main stuff and like the fluff of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I've heard it.
Yeah. When I read that they could ban the stem cell research, like, are you fucking kidding me? There's so much more that stem cell research can go into than just reproductive health. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fucking, what was it? Gallbladder stones or whatever. Like,
That's interesting. That's cool.
I think I saw that on a TV show or something. You know what? It was a TV show. It was actually Never Have I Ever. The cousin on the show is a scientist doing stem cell research on gallbladders, gallstones.
Mm-hmm. It's
So yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I learned something.
It's also like you said, it's not just like birth or abortions or anything like that. Like next they're gonna attack like what? Probably IVF, surrogacy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, not everyone is able to have a baby either, so there's different
right,
ways of getting a baby.
right, right, and it goes back to like if you were truly pro life, you wouldn't have an issue with IVF and surrogacy. Why is that a problem?
Right. Just because it's not natural birth, so what? Some people literally cannot have babies.
Yeah. Yes, there's a girl that I watch on TikTok who cannot physically have babies. She's been pregnant like 3 times, 3 or 4 times, I think, and each one has ended in the fetus not like being a viable pregnancy. She's had a
Yeah,
miscarriage every single time. And she's now having a kid through surrogacy.
that's awesome though.
Yeah.
I think I know which
It's
one you're talking about.
Selena Spooky Boo.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I love her.
It's so cool though, because like you can see from some of her stories, like she's wanted a kid and how
Yeah.
tragic that topic for her is.
Yeah,
Like,
she's been. Yeah, I think she's mentioned that the last like 10 or 11 years or something, her and Adam have been trying to have kids, and like
mm-hmm.
it's just like surrogacy is finally going to let them do that, and like why are you wanting to take that away from people?
Right? I mean, that they're finally gonna be able to start the family they've wanted for a long time, and that's not
Yeah,
hurting anybody.
no, that baby is going to be so loved.
So loved. Trump and his administrations have long been trying to take away or heavily restrict access to birth control and other contraceptives. In 2017, he began by hiring Katie Talento, who has been known to say false things such as birth control can cause miscarriages of already conceived children and risks breaking your uterus for good. Wow.
So stupid.
That makes zero fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
Birth control and contraceptives do not contribute to abortions, and there is no sufficient evidence that they cause miscarriages either. While birth control can cause issues for some people, it is not going to break your uterus, and it will not hurt everyone.
No, no, it's like in rare circumstances that it will give someone like painful or harmful issues.
Mm-hmm.
Um I mean, a lot of the time the issues that it causes are like gaining weight or mood swings, which are a
Mm-hmm.
little bit can be a little bit less serious, but it's not going to break your uterus, whatever the fuck that means.
I don't know, but it like makes me think of the myth like that if you skip your period or you don't have your period, that like it's gonna hurt you down the line or something.
Oh,
Like that's not true. You can not
no.
have your period and be fine for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people wouldn't get a period. And it's most of the time it's like not anything serious. So that's really weird.
So weird. The most the pill did was make me gain some weight.
Yeah. Yeah. It just made me think of like, why do people think we're so fragile?
Right? Women literally popping out babies through a hole that I quite frankly don't think is sufficient enough. And doing it on their own in some cases. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. I watched a video of like what happens during the birthing process, and it was all with, like a fake baby and fake stuff and
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but it was so like incredible to watch because you see that and you're like, how in the fuck is a 10-pound baby gonna fit through there?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it adapts as you're giving birth.
Yeah. And it's like the way that your body just like expands and the baby just knows how it's supposed to like turn and move as it's coming out of the birth canal. And like, it's just amazing. We're not fragile. That's like one of the worst pains you can go through as a human.
Right? I I can't even imagine, and that actually is part of why I don't want children. That scares the
Yeah.
shit out of me.
Yeah. Some people do it without medications too.
No, thank you.
Oh, I'm hella getting medications. I'm not
God,
doing that naturally.
no.
I mean, props to the women who can do it naturally, but that's not for me. No thanks.
Right, it's totally your choice, and I have nothing against it. But for me, I would need to be medicated if I was going to have a child.
Oh yeah, for sure. In March of 2017, Nikki Haley was quoted as saying, "Women do not care about contraception,"
Yes, we
which is
do.
laughable. I have been on birth control for 3 years, 4 years now. I definitely care about contraception.
Right, I've been on it for like 5 years, I think, or more.
Yeah, and I still use condoms too. So like I don't. Where are you getting this notion that we don't care about contraception? Because that's absolutely wrong.
It's horseshit.
Women most definitely do care about contraception, especially now with the threat of abortions being banned federally. Um, and banning abortions federally is not going to stop abortions.
No.
Like I talked about in the first part of this episode, episode 3. It's just going to lead to unsafe abortions. You're not ever going to get rid of abortions. Banning them
No.
federally or not, that's just not going to happen.
Unless you can magically wave a wand and make miscarriages not happen, it's just not, it's not going to happen.
Or yeah, it's not going to stop them. It's just going to cause unsafe abortions and more death.
Mm-hmm.
And contraceptives are made to prevent unwanted or unintended pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And without it, there would no doubt be more abortions. So if you're so pro life, give us access to contraceptives and birth control, because that is how you prevent abortions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would make more sense for the right to be all for contraceptives, since it prevents abortions, and that's what they're all about now.
You would think, but no, they don't actually care about the mom or the child.
No, for whatever reason, they just want the birth to happen. What is that going to do? Because you don't want to help in any way after the birth. So like, why does it matter?
They literally just want to make you have babies without your say, and no.
Yeah, and if you don't have babies, apparently we're all just childless cat ladies. Crazy cat ladies.
I am a bearded dragon lady.
I jokingly tell people I'm a childless cat lady.
It's such nonsense. Like, first of all, I'm a woman. I do care about contraception. You know why? Because if I have to have the baby, I'm the one that has to have the baby, not the man.
Yeah, exactly. And why is this all put onto the woman too, when the man is also taking part, but also he can have way more babies in a year than a woman can. A woman can have one.
Yes.
A man can have like 100.
They can have as many as the women they sleep with, and that woman can only have one, which technically you can have one back to back, but you really shouldn't.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's like, why is all of this being put onto us, and why are we not also focusing on men and what men can do to help prevent abortions, if that's really the issue here.
Right, and especially since so many men, they just want to have sex and then move on. They don't want to take care of that child they just
Right.
helped create.
Right. They don't want to have to deal with the consequences. Unfortunately, you're just going to make it worse for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, get a fucking vasectomy.
Seriously. Or don't complain when the woman you had sex with or the woman you're in a relationship with wants an abortion.
Yeah. Or just wear a goddamn condom. Like, there's so many people that like are so against wearing condoms for whatever reason. And they always say a lot of the time it's because of the size of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. Those things are stretchy as fuck.
God, I know. they no, it's just a fucking excuse.
Yeah, bullshit.
Like, I personally don't like the feel of them, but that's not saying, oh, I can't use them for any reason.
Yeah. Like, this is so fucking dumb.
Can't believe we have, what's the word, backtracked so far, and we're in 2025.
Yeah, I keep seeing this post. This is kind of a little bit off topic, but I keep seeing this post on Facebook that's like, time zones are so crazy. Like, it's this time in this country and this time in this country, and it's the late 1930s Germany and the US.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking true, dude.
It's so true. Oh, this is also a little off topic, but apparently there's been like 40 cases or something of dysentery in Portland.
I saw that.
And so it's like our politics have gone to early 1900s, and I don't know what you call it, our healthcare, our livelihood, whatever, for diseases and stuff, has gone back to the 1800s.
Yeah, it's gone back to the fucking Oregon Trail times. What the fuck? That just reminded me, I saw a post that was, do you remember the game, the Oregon Trail, the computer game?
Yeah, I never played it, but I've seen it played. Yeah. And
there's a post I've seen going around that is from that game, and it's like the little green like outline of the wagon, and it says, you know, where it says like you died from dysentery or whatever.
I keep seeing that too.
You listened to RFK.
Yep.
So funny. And it's so sad that how true that is, but it's so funny.
It's so true though. Like, what is happening?
Why do we keep putting old white bastards in control of our healthcare?
I don't know, but it needs to stop because they don't know anything, first of all. And they just want control for no reason.
He looks like he's on his deathbed.
Oh, God, I know.
What does he know about health? And he's against vaccines, too. Like, what do you know about women's health?
Right.
Because I guarantee it's not much.
And I personally don't care for the COVID vaccine, but I am not against vaccines. Like, all the other ones you need.
Yeah, I've seen some other shit is coming back too, like the measles.
Mm-hmm. They're telling people they don't need it, and no, you do. That's how it stopped for so long.
Yeah, that's why we didn't have it, because people were getting the fucking vaccine, you dumb shit. Also, they don't cause autism.
Right? And why are we listening to someone that openly admitted he had brain worms?
Right? Oh my god. I want to cry. I want to cry.
Me too. I know I'm laughing, but I want to cry.
I feel like I'm about to start going into hysterics because this is crazy. I don't talk about any of this really, or I mean I do, but I don't talk about it the way we talk about it on the podcast here. So I get more heightened emotions on the podcast, and oh my god.
My hormones are already being messed with since I got the IUD, so I'm just oh my god. fast forward to 2025, and one of the most harmful things he's done so far for contraception and birth control is freezing foreign aid. This isn't just something that helps people here in the US either. The foreign aid is used to assist people in other countries. In the 2024 fiscal year, the U.S. Congress appropriated $575 million for family planning, in addition to $32.5 million for the United Nations Population Fund. The fund is used to research and support sexual and reproductive health and rights. According to a recent analysis, those funds could help 47.6 million women and couples with contraceptive care, as well as prevent 17.1 million unattended pregnancies.
And they fucking froze that.
That makes me so mad.
And this isn't just for, it's foreign aid. So this isn't just for the US, this is for other countries too.
Yeah.
So it's not only helping women here in the US, it's supposed to also be helping women in other countries. And they froze it.
And what was Trump was saying something about how we were giving so much money to I think Gaza for condoms, and it's like, first of all, that's not true, and second of all, even if it was, who cares? People need that.
Right. People need access to these things because condoms can prevent more than just pregnancy. Like, there's other things that you can get from not using a condom. Like, it is a healthcare thing. Like, what are they not understanding about this?
It literally prevents STDs, so what are we doing?
Yeah, who cares if they need money for fucking condoms? Like, who gives a shit? It's condoms.
Right? It's like, I'm sorry, but it's basically as necessary as anything else we need. Food, water, because humans are gonna have sex.
Yes. I can't. Why? Just why?
Literally, what are we doing?
Fucking nothing, apparently, man. I just stop everything. Having access to those funds should be a priority for women's health rights, honestly. Thousands of women and girls' lives in the nation and across the world could be saved by having access to birth control and contraception. Because, like I just said, it prevents so much more than just pregnancy. Literally, those can be life-saving. And unfortunately, with the freeze of the foreign aids, millions of women have been denied contraceptive care. Doctors have stated that it is only a matter of time before we start seeing the real effects this will have on people's lives, and they're suspecting that we will see a rise in HIV as well as maternal mortality rates and unsafe abortions.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
That's really scary. That they don't care about that part of it. They just care about taking it away.
I cannot reiterate enough how glad I am I got the IUD now, because who knows if I would be able to in a couple years or less.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been thinking about getting it recently too, just because I don't know if birth control is going to be taken away. I don't know if I'm going to have access to birth control. And like I said, I still want kids, but not immediately. And, the IUDs last for a few years, right?
Yeah. There's a couple options, though. You don't have to get the 8-year one like I did. I think there's like a 5-year one and one that's a little less.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about that a little bit recently because I now have the thought of like, well, fuck, what am I going to do if I can't have birth control? Like,
right.
And also, people use birth control for other things aside from preventing pregnancy too. Like, it can be used for like regulating periods and making them less heavy, because some people have really horrible, like heavy, bad cramps and horrible periods. Like, and birth control can be used as a way to minimize those. Like, I know my period definitely got a lot easier to handle when I started taking birth control.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Mine's literally incapacitating. The amount I bleed, my cramps, the nausea, the headaches, the fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the bleeding and the cramps are the worst, but like all of it combined it literally leaves me bedridden.
Yeah. Mine, thankfully, it wasn't on like the more painful side, but it was really heavy, and I would kind of regularly like bleed through tampons and pads and stuff. And then with the birth control now, it's made it so much lighter, which in turn makes it so much less painful.
Did you know they didn't start actually testing pads and tampons with any type of real blood until I think it was last year or the year before? They've only been doing it with water, so that's why we bleed
What?
through them.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's ridiculous. That's another thing. That's what I was talking about earlier. Part of how we already don't know enough about women's bodies. They don't
Yeah,
test things like that.
right. Also, can we just take a second to talk about tampon commercials and why the fuck is everyone so happy and dancing around? Because who the
Right?
fuck is like that on their
And
period?
every single one of them is wearing white.
When I'm on my period, I want to lay on my couch and cry and eat ice cream.
Exactly.
I don't want to wear white and dance around and play sports.
I was literally just laying in bed eating chocolate, consoling myself last night.
It makes me think of that scene from Legally Blonde where she's in bed like eating a box of chocolates.
Literally all I wanted, and everything else was just a huge inconvenience.
Oh, dude, same. The amount of times that I get so incredibly irritated at people on my period for just like breathing wrong. I don't know where they're getting this notion that we like to dress head to toe in white and go frolicking through the tulips.
Or play tennis. Like,
Or play tennis. Yeah, fuck that.
I literally got irritable and irritated that I couldn't make a cheese sandwich last night. Like,
I cried about a Disney commercial one time. I haven't been to Disney in like 8 years, and I cried. A commercial came on. I still remember this because of how fucking ridiculous it was. A commercial came on about how they were bringing back the electric parade on like, a certain weekend or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even going to Disney. I was just so overwhelmed and emotional that they were bringing back the electric parade that I cried.
I can relate.
I love Disney, so.
Oh man, I got mad so fast last night, like trying to make that grilled cheese, and the bread just like got mangled and stuck to the pan. So I was like, "Fuck this! I'm fucking done!" and just like threw in the towel and went to bed.
I would have thrown the whole thing in the garbage, pan included.
Oh, I just left it on the stove and walked away.
That's valid.
Taking away access to birth control, contraception, and abortions will not end abortions. We will no doubt see a rise in unsafe abortions and deaths occurring from those. If the right was truly about pro-life, they would be making these things more accessible to everyone, because birth control and contraception can prevent unintended pregnancies that would result in abortions. Banning abortion only makes people turn to unsafe abortion methods, which are not only dangerous for the fetus, but can also be life-threatening to the mother.
Women make up around more than half of the population, so why are we defunding and banning their healthcare or our healthcare? Make it make sense.
That's a good question.
Along with reproductiverights.org, parts of the National Institutes of Health website regarding women's health have been shut down. We did talk about this earlier. Like, it went from like 6 different categories down to 4. And the NIH provided a lot of information on research for women's health and funding for research, among many other things. And many of those pages have been taken off of the website. And it's literally just information on research being done.
Mm-hmm. And it's just gone.
Yeah. Why do you not want us to know about that? So, not only are they trying to make it harder to access reproductive information, they're trying to make it harder to access women's health information in general. Like we were talking about earlier too with the stem cell research, that's not just women's health, that's not just reproductive health, that's like people's health,
Yeah.
people's healthcare.
Healthcare in general and research.
Yeah, and I don't understand why people are wanting to take these things away. And I feel like it's probably just because they don't understand everything that's being taken away, or they don't understand exactly what goes into all of these things.
Right.
I mean, that's my hope, at least. Maybe they're not fully understanding what's actually happening, but then at the same time, it's so easy to just do a little bit of research and look into these things.
Right, and there is misinformation out there, but if you look hard enough, it's not that hard to find. But as they take it away, it will be.
Oh, yeah, they've already taken away so much, and that's definitely going to make it a lot harder for uninformed or misinformed people to get the right information.
I just don't understand why people are willingly ignorant over not listening to scientists, research, environmentalists, biologists, and just willingly take the word of a rich trust fund baby.
Right. Like, why? Why? I just want to know why.
Literally.
And why do you think everybody is out to get you and out to misinform you when that is so far from the truth? Just because they disagree with your fucking orange Cheeto king, like, doesn't mean that they're wrong. 99.9% of the time, they are right.
Exactly, and I have a big feeling it's part of, like, most of those people just don't believe in the government anyway, which, like,
yeah,
of course it's not perfect, but there are so many things that go into it that help people, and just research in general, and it's not all bad. It's not perfect, right. No. You're gonna just dismantle the government and believe this moron over here?
Yeah, who doesn't even know what he's fucking talking about. I swear.
Make it make sense.
I can't handle him or anybody in his cabinet. Fucking Elon Musk, he pisses me off. He doesn't even have anything to do with this topic, but I want to punch Elon.
I want to punch both of them.
Yeah.
Like, simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah, just both hands. They both deserve a good punch in the face. For legal reasons, we're not actually going to punch them in the face.
I know. I know this is a little off topic too, but I guess Trump did some speech or something last night, and he was saying something about how so many millions of dollars go into research for transgender mice. When really, forget the actual word, but it's the mice that take like a cell from a human so we could do research on them so we can find out stuff for us. Like, it has nothing to do with transgender mice.
I can't. Sometimes I don't know if he's like pretending to be stupid or if he actually is this stupid, because like, in what world do you think transgender mice is a real fucking thing?
I don't know. It's like, like you said, are you really that dumb? or is this all like a master plan? I really can't tell anymore.
Right. And that is so scary. Like, are you rage baiting or are you actually this fucking stupid? I don't know. We shouldn't be asking that, and we shouldn't be having to ask that about our president.
No, we shouldn't.
I feel like that's such like a common thing to know too, that they take like cells from humans or whatever from humans and put it into like mice or rats or whatever to see what happens, and like how this cell or whatever it is can be affected by whatever they give the mouse or whatever they have the mouse do. Like, I don't even know how I know that. I just know that that's a thing that happens.
From the science and biology classes you took.
Yes. Because I listen to the professionals and they're talking about things that are real.
I'm trying to find the word for it. It's something mice. It starts with trans, and that might be why he's getting it confused.
That's so dumb. It's so
Transgenic
dumb.
Mice. That's the word.
What the fuck?
Yep.
I can't. And oh my god.
It's like, are you really, again though, are you actually that stupid or not? Because you also think that asylum seekers are from an asylum.
Yeah. That's not, that word doesn't mean what you think it means. Like, not in this context, bro. This is why we say his supporters are stupid, because you support this kind of shit. This is what you voted for. This is who you put into office.
Mm-hmm.
He sees words like transgenic and thinks it means transgender fucking mice.
Yep.
And you go with it.
I've already seen someone, I think it was on Instagram, someone did like a duet, whatever you call it. And this girl was literally parroting the same words he said, not even knowing what she was talking about either, because she's just saying the same words that he said.
This is why we say y'all are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's the other alternative is not better.
No, it's not. And quite frankly, he said it himself that he loves the uneducated.
Yeah, no, he said that the Republicans are stupid enough and uneducated enough to vote for him.
Yep, and they did.
So I know I think it was in the last episode we were saying how we were gonna try to not call people stupid, but you are stupid.
If you can actually look at the information and change your mind and like listen to people, that's a whole different ball game than just blindly believing him and not listening to anyone else.
Yes. If you're the type of follower that just blindly follows and blindly supports everything that he does and says and doesn't listen to anything else because scientists, environmentalists, and whoever else are just out to get you with this fucking false news or whatever. The exploding fucking paper straws.
It still kills me.
That was really funny.
I was reading the other day too, he created Truth Social because he was banned from Twitter at the time and Facebook, I think. And it's basically full of just his stuff, and you can't say anything other than agreeing with it or it won't show up. Oh
my god.
It's literally just how Russia, Putin does not let his people see anything that he doesn't want them to see.
Jesus. I can't with these people. And now him and like Elon and Mark Zuckerberg are all like fucking buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Bezos.
I wish there was a platform just like Facebook that wasn't Facebook.
I know. Just line them all up and punch them all in the face. One after the other.
Yes. Punch one and just like a domino effect into the rest.
Yeah. And then go punch the other ones just because.
All right. If this angers you as much as it has angered us, we encourage you to reach out to members of Congress and let them know that women's health is important and we need these sites and research information to be available to everyone. The health and well-being of a person should not be a DEI issue, nor should it be taken away because someone else disagrees with it. Proper health care and access to information should be a human right, and it's absolutely crazy that at this point it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah. Why are we making this an issue? Because it shouldn't be.
Right.
This is a human rights.
Yeah, there's a difference between human rights, which is non-negotiable, and someone's preferences. Everyone has different preferences, and that's fine.
Right.
But you do not get to argue that taking away a human right is okay.
No, you don't get to tell me what I can and can't do with my own body.
No, fuck no.
If you'd like to hear more of what we have to say, because there's a lot, please consider following along with the podcast, and you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
You can also keep up with us and what's going on with the show by following us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook and Instagram. You can also reach out to us by email at thesafepod@outlook.com. Links for everything will be included in the description, and I'll probably use the link tree for that because everything's in our link tree.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think that's it for now.
For now. Till the next time. And thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.